Greetings, everybody. I hope you are doing well. We are here today. What is this? October 20, is it the 28th? We are here back in action, ready, clear, ready to learn, ready to understand. And as I too have been on a clarity journey myself, I know that you also have been on a clarity journey. Love. We have invigorated. I have invigorated the Patreon. You know, y'all, you can't rush clarity. Sometimes you think you're clear, uh, and you're not. Sometimes there's more of life that has to be lived and understood and realized before you're able to step forward in. Oh, maybe that's just it. Before you're able to step forward. I submit to you again today that I don't know everything, that I am forever a student, always learning, always open, and always available to the things that the source has for me and would have for me to know. Listen, we always on a journey, and this day is no different than any other day. In fact, that we will be stretched and challenged and given another opportunity to expand ourselves further than we have been expanded before. So today we're talking about understanding love and the difference between love and attachment. So love has come into my life, y'all. Love has come into my life. I have a boyfriend that the spirit has aligned and ordained and chosen and placed, and it is something that is truly um what's giving me one of the things that's giving me joy and an ounce of fear, but more joy and more certainty than other things have. That's really been a development for me in my personal life that has challenged me in a myriad of ways. And so it led me to have to examine some topics that I just was uncomfortable with because I don't know. I like teaching stuff and expressing stuff that I know about and that I'm living through. And now that I'm walking through it, I have come to some divine understandings. Uh, and I'm going to share that with you today. The first thing that we're going to discuss is what is love? Ain't that a song? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Okay, let's talk about love. First thing we gotta address is that the energy of love is expansive. Love is expansive. Love is freeing, and love is rooted in what is true. We must know that love is the natural rhythm of spirit flowing between beings, be it physical beings, as far as a person and a person, or a person and a tree, or a person and water, or water to whatever. It is a natural rhythm of spirit flowing between two things, two beings. Love comes to expand you. Love is not going to leave you in the space that it met you. Love is going to grow you. Love is going to say things, call things out, bring things to your attention, nurture, expand. Love is going to expand you. And expansion and stretching and growth is not something that is easy. It's not easy because it's going to call you to be honest. So you're going to have to say some things that you never thought you would say out loud. The things that you wrote in your journal may have to be imparted in your belly, come up your chest and out of your throat and out your mouth. You're going to have to be honest. Love invites presence. You're going to have to be here. Love is going to call you to here, to the now. Love is not about all the things that we've been through. That's not love. And love is also going to call you to a state of release, where you're going to have to release your control of this process. You're going to have to release and surrender to what is now. Love is never a cage unto you. Love breathes. Love does not come to constrict. Love allows. Love allows you to become. That's love. When you are in the midst of true love, if it's romantic love, platonic love, spiritual love, you're going to feel safe enough to be seen. You're going to feel safe enough and free enough to evolve. Hear that. When love is present, when you're in the midst of love and true love, you're going to feel safe enough and to be seen and free enough to evolve. That's why love expands you, because you feel free enough to be expanded. So love is not here to shrink you, make you little, so that you can fit into someone's comfort. That's not love. Love says, I see you. Love says, I honor what you carry and what you bring. And I don't need to own you to feel secure. That's love. The goal of love is to see and allow another to be. That's internally and externally. I see you and I'm going to allow you to be. I see me and I'm going to allow me to be. When we start getting into possession, we have stepped outside of love. Love is a witness. Love ain't trying to form you into the perfect version for them. The version of you that you are, and says, how can I assist you in being more of you and the best version of you? That's love. And you see the fruit of love through, or shall I say, the fruit of love is peace. The fruit of love is joy. The fruit of love is growth. The fruit of love is accountability. The fruit of love is reciprocity and respect, mutual respect. That's the fruit. And the language that assists love is, I want you to be well with or without me. You should not want a love that is dependent on your compliance. That's when we use the terminology, or not terminology, the phraseology of, I love you enough to leave you. I love you enough to let you go. Because I recognize that there is a better version of yourself that me in this state, us in our state, us together, is not allowing you to be. Love cares for your wellness beyond your role. That's love. That is love. Now we're going to shift to the understanding of attachment. Now remember, love expands you. Love grows you. Love holds you accountable. Love respects you. Love allows you. Attachment, the energy of attachment is restricted. It contracts you. Attachment is fear-based and survival-oriented. So it's almost like attachment is love's anxious imitation. Because attachment can feel passionate. You could be here for, you could find them attractive and a this and a that. But attachment is something that's rooted in abandonment. Attachment is rooted in scarcity. Attachment is rooted in a forgetting of the self or the selfhood of another person. Attachment is more concerned with what will happen to me if you go, as opposed to what will happen to you if you don't. That's attachment. You believing that if you lose this person, you lose yourself. And that's when we enter into a prison. We got one person that's the jailer, one person that's the prisoner. And it's because it's almost a captivity. It's a binding captivity. And it's not even that attachment is something that is evil. Attachment is something that is birthed from trauma. Attachment is birthed from neglect. Attachment is birthed from unhealed wounds. It's the child in us that is still looking for safety. That's attachment. When you think about a baby, this may be challenging. This may stretch you. From a physiological standpoint, the baby does not inherently love. Is attached to the mother and learns that through this is the person that is feeding me, that is caressing me, that is soothing me, and thus is key to my survival. So when you get into relationships, You are operating from a space of scarcity. I may never find nobody else again. I ain't done no work to believe in myself and increase my self-confidence and my self-esteem. What you revert to, this man is clearly disrespect you, ruined your life, talked down to you, slept with this person, that one, this one, and now you holding on to the car door as he's driving away. This woman has expressed to you that this relationship is not it. She is unhappy. And you're not letting her leave. What you don't understand, that response that is so primal and animalistic is the survival self. It's the baby that learned that attachment equals survival. That's that. And if you let that be unchecked, you will have control, costuming around as care. Which is why we must pay attention to this. Hold on one second. Okay, I think I'm back. All right, I'm back now. Excuse me, I had to handle some business. I think the last thing I said was if you're not careful, control will be parading as care. So let's understand what is the goal of attachment. Attachment is to keep something, is to keep. Attachment has nothing to do with the connection. Hey. Attachment has nothing to do with the connection. The goal of attachment is simply to keep. Child, my necktie is all jacked up. Hold on. We'll go right there. It's to keep. Attachment is looking for possession, y'all. Attachment is saying that I need you close, even if it costs me my peace or if it costs you yours. Love is not interested in that. Love is not interested in being so self-sacrificial. And you can see the fruits of attachment because attachment births control. Attachment births anxiety. Attachment births an over-identification. Some of us are attached to the roles that we are given or the roles that we play in other people's lives. And attachment tends to equate to a loss of self. Love is never going to ask you to lose you or to erase you. Love is not going to ask you to do that. So where you were curious, attachment is going to make you be centered in control. Where you had joy, attachment is going to bring about jealousy. And I've said this some years ago. Jealousy is rooted in being threatened by something, someone, something or someone, because it's centered in attachment. And eventually, if you keep up with the attachment, your sense of self or your sense of identity will become entangled with someone else's mood, with someone else's approval. So the self gets lost up in the need to, gets lost in the scramble to stay needed. That's attachment. And you hear language like, I need you for me to be okay. I need this. Without this, I am nothing. Without this, I am this. Without this, I have nothing. A lot of us grew up, the reason why, put me in B flat. The reason why a lot of us have to windmill out of religion is because it's an attachment. We are attached to it because we have been conditioned to believe that without this version of God, we are nothing. We sing songs that speak to that. So, did you ever truly love this version of God? Or were you just attached to this version of God? Was this version of God ever a lover of you? Or was this version of God attached to you? The answer is, if it expands you there's love. If it restricts you, even if you want to go or you have a realization that pulls you away from that and into another form, and it prohibits you from that, it's never been love. It's only been attachment. And I think that there's a space for a healthy balance of both. It is when there is only attachment and not love. I can be attached to you because that's a physiological process, right? I can be attached to this as an anchor, as this, but there also got to be love there that expands me and encourages me that I can be more. There are other things other than this. And if that's where my spirit is leading me, that is well, as opposed to threatening, harming, indoctrinating to keep me. That's a spirit of attachment, not the true spirit of love. Because the truth is, before the individual came into your life, before the thing came into your life, you were whole already. And guess what? If you were whole before they came or before it came, you will be whole when they go. And that is the truth. So the work, good people. Hi, Tessa. Hey, Michelle. The work is not to stop loving. The work is to stop gripping. So there's a space where love and attachment sits at the same table, but they eat for different reasons, I will say. As we discussed, the motivation of love is freedom. The motivation of attachment is fear. At the center of love is the soul. At the center of attachment is the ego. The movement of love is expansive. The movement of attachment is restrictive. You can't let this person go and have these different experiences and things because they may find somebody or something that they like better than you and yeah. And then what'll happen to me? You thinking about somebody passing away and you're crying less for you for them and more for you. That's not a love-centered thought. And we must learn to recognize it and then to adjust it. Love is always going to stretch you. I also believe that the focus of love is different. The focus of love is in a mutual wellness. The focus of attachment is in a personal comfort. Now, clock that at 100 miles per hour. Mutual wellness versus personal attachment. As long as I feel safe, we're fine. Love says, are we both well here? Attachment says, I feel great. That's attachment. Love also, now love and attachment have a different response to distance as well. Love meets distance with trust. Attachment meets distance with panic. Love is like distance, breath. Attachment spirals when it comes to distance. You got the panic, you got the overthinking. I'm sending text messages to test you. Love says, I trust that what we have built is fine and it will be well. This has helped me. Wow. I know that I love you and I'm loving you at a healthy frequency because I trust the bond enough. I trust I'm not panicking. Love is present here. Attachment is afraid that they will be forgotten. It's been too quiet. I'm not centering love here. And so when we transcend this from a physical level and we look at a spiritual level between us and our source, love is a partnership. I was speaking to someone about how she must reframe God from a God of punishment to a God of partnership. God is not in a space of punishing. Spirit, the mother, for me, it's the mother. Iya Agbaye. The mother is not trying to punish. The mother is operating in partnership. The mother is complete and so am I, and we are reflecting each other. The source is complete and so am I, and we are reflecting each other. God is complete and so am I. God is not seeking to own me. Now, this may shake you up. God is not seeking to own me. God is me. The spirit resonates with you. Spirit don't need to own you. Spirit remembers you. And what a religion has allowed is the spirit of attachment. The ideology of attachment. We are worshiping the vessel. We have been conditioned to worship the vessel rather than be in reverence to the essence. The container and the creator are two different things. Attachment, I've got to be careful with this. I think the attachment demands worship. I don't know if love demands worship. I don't know if I believe that. I think that maybe even the concept of worship is centered in a hierarchy and a supremacy, and God needing to be a dictator to people. I think reverence is love. Ooh, sorry, y'all. I have to change this cord to this microphone. I said, Lord, I think we've been attached most of our life. But even if, I did not expect to go into a religious conversation like this. But a people that met a version of an energy in the midst of pure sheer desperation runs the risk of being more attached than they actually love. Which may be why we need to be more focused on the God, the source, the spirit that came with us, rather than the ones that we ran into. Or shall I say, ran into us. I think the word should be reverence instead of worship. I think that's attachment. That's me. Because I believe love is going to say that your presence was one of the ways that God touched me, but God is still here. Attachment is if you leave, I'm empty. I have nothing. And I think a lot of us have realized we've been more attached to God than we have actually loved God. And that's where the breakdown is coming in. Dear God. Dear God. But that's all right. That's all right. This is why we have these conversations. That's why we have it. That's why we have this. So let's make some space for some questions, if there's any questions. Or You can comment questions if you like to, but I think I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. When, and you ask this of yourself, when have I mistaken attachment for love? Chemistry and familiarity is not the same thing. Or dare I say, chemistry and connection is not the same thing, nor is familiarity and safety. Think about the times you stayed because you were afraid to start over, not because you were still growing there. Job, relationship, spiritual place. And then you got to ask yourself, was I actually loving this person, place, thing, job, opportunity? Or was I chasing the feeling of being chosen? And that would be attachment. What emotions rise in me when someone I love pulls away? And I don't want you to judge your reaction, but we got to notice what our emotional default is. When someone steps back, are we panicked? Do we immediately assume that there's something wrong with you? Because that reaction don't got nothing to do with the other person. I believe that reaction is the younger version of us that remembers loss and rejection and inconsistency. So what emotions rise in you when love pulls away? And is this a response to the person, or is this a response to the pattern? Ah, Jesus. Is this a response to the person or a response to the pattern? Do I feel safe giving other people freedom? So when someone that I care about needs some space or needs some independence or some time, do I trust them, or do I start writing all the stories in my head? And I think we've just been so trained to fear uncertainty that that's why control shows up. Can't love people and put them in cages. Maya Angelou said, I know why the cage bird sings. The cage bird sings of freedom. And so they're either going to break through those bars or they're going to lose their song. That hit me. You heard that escalation in my voice? That hit me. Are they going to break? They're either going to break through the bars or they're going to lose their song. Love is not present in that. And because we have loved people, what does my love look like when it's peaceful? Not when it's performative. What does my love look like when it's peaceful? Because performative love, that's that love with a costume. I'm doing, I'm proving, I'm fixing, I'm showing, I'm this, I'm that. I think peaceful love may be quiet, yet it is still powerful. And out loud. Because I think it's the way you breathe around somebody and you still feel safe. What does love look like when I'm not auditioning for it? Woo! That has blessed me. That has lifted me. So now we say, Darcel, now you done told us this. My head busted in. I'm pissed off. I've been wrong. They've been wrong. I've been in wrong situations. What do I do? First thing I want you to do is learn to be a witness and not a police officer. Hello? Learn to witness and not police. I can notice you without needing to fix you. Because when we are attached, we think that love gives us the right to monitor. We monitoring everything that person's doing, every choice, every However, we gonna hover you. We're gonna correct. We're gonna over advise, and it's actually a fear response. God, when I'm a witness, I'm there. I see you without the judgment. And I see you without the judgment. And I am trusting your soul's process even when I don't understand it. That's to witness, to judge, to police. Is I need you to act a certain way, be a certain way, do a certain thing all the time. Go get this type of a job. Go have these type of friends. Do this type of a thing so that I can feel safe. So every time you feel the urge to fix somebody, take a pause and ask yourself, am I trying to help them or am I trying to manage my own fear? Let's practice that. Let's practice that. Let's also practice learning how to return to our bodies. When you feel that anxiety hitting you, place your hands on your chest. I always like to warm my hands up. Place the hands on the chest here. And remind yourself that you are safe, because that attachment lives in the nervous system. Not just you being emotional, that's just a physical response. So when you have that feeling, listen, don't try to get in an argument with the feeling. Regulate the feeling. Regulate it. And breathe. Remember that book, The Body Keeps the Score? And I also say the body also keeps the wisdom. And peace, I don't think, is a thing to attain. Peace may more so be a thing to practice. And one of the things that I think has been the most powerful thing for me is for me to give love an assignment. So what is love trying to teach me through this connection? I think every relationship is an assignment. All things have a lesson. This thing is coming to teach me patience. This is coming to teach me boundaries. This is coming to teach me self-worth. This is going to teach me it's coming to teach me expansion, how to evolve myself. This is coming to teach me how to let go. So when we stop asking, why did this happen? Why did this? And we start asking, what is this here to teach me? That detachment begins. Because when we ask that question, all that pain you got is going to turn into a curriculum for you. How do I shift from the victimhood to authorship? I ask what it's teaching. And dare I say that if every person you meet is a classroom, every ending is the graduation. If every person you meet is a classroom, every ending is a graduation. What did it teach you? So we got to give love an assignment. Reclaim that power. And another illusion, I think there's a big illusion to closure. Because what you gonna do if you never can have the conversation? Some of the people you need to have, you want to have a conversation with done died. So now what you gonna do? Hopefully you're gonna run to a medium, try to get the answer. Let me tell you something. Reasons ain't always, I'm not gonna say ain't always. Reason is not safe for closure. And let me explain it this way. Because sometimes people reasons don't make sense. Sometimes people reasons don't even make sense. Closure comes from choice. Closure comes from you choosing to look for the lesson, see the lesson, and then choosing forward. Closure is something you choose to do, not something you get. I feel so affirmed listening to you right now. I've been actually working on these themes in my life, but I didn't have the full language to articulate what I've been doing, feeling, thinking. Excellent. Good job. I've been walking through this thing because this man entered in my life and has challenged me in all types of ways. I said, Darcel, you're just going to get your condo, baby, your beautiful high-rise condo in downtown somewhere in somebody's city, and you're going to have your dog, your 2 dogs, Peace and Progress. Your 2 dogs. One's going to be black, one's going to be white. Peace and Progress. And you're going to have a great time. And then the source said, think again, sweetie. Let me send forth this man into your life to get you together and open you up and bring the walls down and give you the instruction to allow somebody to love you. So I have been walking through this too. So that's exactly it. I want to bring something to your attention as in the space of my clarity, we have, oh, no, don't leave the studio. Share the screen. The Patreon, which has shifted into a whole nother dimension. The era of the lighthouse, as we know, has eased on down the road. And now we are in the era of the digital sanctuary. The digital sanctuary is a space that is founded upon 4 pillars. And I place this in the Patreon as well. It's placed upon 4 pillars: refuge, reverence, revelation, and rest. And all of what we do is going to cycle through these natural rhythms. This is the schedule that is posted for the month of November. And if you would like to get in that number when the Saints go marching in, slide on over there. Over there. Okay? Slide on over there. We are walking through that universal month 11 in that universal 9 year. All right? Jesus. And so you want to slide over there because we are doing a completely new thing, a clearer thing, and I get it. I don't think I've ever really got it before. I get it now. I think I was operating in what I thought I was supposed to do as opposed to what I felt was my true alignment and my calling to do. And so we do the work, we have the realizations, and we grow. So should all things and everyone else. And so y'all slide over there. I love you so much from a light-filled place. I'm much clearer now. I'm ready. And we are in. And so we need some type of way forward or way in within ourselves. So as I said, I love you from a light-filled place. Be well, do well. Know that that is all that the source and the spirit ask of you. I'll talk to you all later. Peace, everybody.